Hello YouTube, and welcome to my channel again. Thanks for watching my videos. My first video was a light-hearted attempt to highlight and help ones who are searching for truth to realize that all of us, whether we're in the organization now or perhaps we've left the organization, have sacrificed and given up much of our lives to cement our relationship with Jehovah God. Think deeply for a moment about what you have sacrificed because you felt that you needed to do that to be able to survive Armageddon. As witnesses, you are told over and over that unless your life is in harmony with the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society, the governing body, or the branch, which we know is synonymous with Jehovah, that if you weren't able to do those things that they asked you, you would be killed by Jehovah at Armageddon. I lived my life this way for some 45 years. This afternoon I want to finish telling my story. The reason that I decided to make a YouTube video was because I felt that some might be able to relate to my story, or I thought that hopefully I'd be able to help someone who was having serious questions or doubts. I was baptized at 18 years old. I progressed to being a ministerial servant by the time I was 22, and I became an elder in my mid-20s. I was very happy when I was first appointed as an elder. It brought me great satisfaction to know that I could have a small part in shepherding the sheep that Jesus entrusted to me in my care. I wanted to help all of the brothers and sisters. However, I soon realized that being an elder can have a very detrimental effect on an individual's life. I want to share a few of these things that really cause problems in an elder's life. First of all, you know many of the serious flaws of your brothers and sisters in the congregation. You even know that the elders have serious flaws. And because you know what's going on in most of the congregation's life, this can become a very heavy burden. Imagine this scenario. You go to the Kingdom Hall and you're asked to greet a brother that you know mentally and verbally abuses his wife and family. Perhaps you even know that he physically abuses his wife and family. This is a huge burden in an elder's life. The second area is it's your job as an elder to keep the congregation clean. You're constantly looking for wrongdoing and problems. If anyone breaks one of the commands that Watchtower lays upon the congregation, it's your responsibility to clean it up. I know that the teaching is that the elders are not policemen in the congregation, but it's their job to keep order in the congregation of Jehovah. What this does to an elder, if he's honest with himself, is it makes you suspicious of all the sheep, that somehow they're doing something that they need to be corrected for. I want to challenge anyone to show me in the scriptural outline of a judicial hearing used by Jehovah's Witnesses today. What is the basis for this judicial committee to take place? Being part of a judicial committee was miserable to me as an elder. Here's the third area. Most of my time as an elder was spent on elder bodies with 3 to 4 elders. At one point, for about 15 years, I was the secretary, the Theocratic Ministry School overseer, the Bible study or the book study conductor, and I was an RBC overseer. I had so many responsibilities, and I, for the most part, was just going through the motions to try to carry out all of these things that I had to do. That's why many times in my comments, I refer to elders as robots, because they're programmed to do what they have to do. I honestly believe that many elders really tried to be good shepherds and to be loving to the flock. However, you have to realize that an elder who has these qualities of wanting to help the flock and wanting to do what's right by the members of the congregation will have every responsibility dumped on him, or as the organization likes to call it, he will have privileges given to him. Then what happens is the brother will burn out, he'll become bitter, many times he's impatient, many times he's demanding, and he becomes a shell of his former self. I know countless elders who I have talked to that have experienced this exact same thing. I lost my joy at this point in my life. In my own honest opinion, I became a jerk. The reason why I say that is I no longer cared about the sheep. Remember when I said I first was appointed, I wanted to help the sheep. I wanted to shepherd them. But at this point in my life, the sheep became secondary, and what was most important was protecting and defending the policies of Watchtower. I had a beautiful family at this point, and my wife of 30 plus years asked me what was wrong. The answer was simple. I no longer had any joy in serving Jehovah God. Over the years, I'll be real honest with you, I had many questions. I had serious questions about many things that went on in this organization. I questioned the letters that came from the branch regarding the process of handling child abuse, calling the branch first. That really bothered me. Also, over the years, I saw the number of disfellowshipping offense continue to grow, especially with the use of the word pornea and all that constituted pornea. Also, I ask myself many times, how can the Holy Spirit, which is guiding the congregation, allow terrible problems to go on in the congregation for decades without resolution? Also, I want to tell you, when you see what goes on, the scenes behind the organization, it makes you wonder, how can they claim that everybody's in unity? Because the reason that Jehovah's Witnesses are in unity is because the Watchtower and Bible Tract Society lays down the rules, and you're demanded to keep those. If you ask 10 different Jehovah's Witnesses about the practice of shunning, you'd probably get 5 different answers about how they feel about shunning. And finally, there was a very troublesome question that I had to answer. How can any teaching that we promote as Jehovah's organization have no scriptural precedent? And one teaching that I found had no scriptural precedent was the teaching of the overlapping generation. I did hours of research on this with no resolution to this question. For years, these were stored in a safe place in the back of my mind that I rarely wanted to visit. I'll finish the rest of my story in part 2. Thanks for listening.